Very much. It's obviously, first of all, a pleasure to arrive in the airport and have such a welcome. We know that there's a lot of sacrifice on these people to be at this hour of the day. But for us, it's also important because basically it's just a celebration of the many moments that we live together throughout the season. And it's a real pleasure in the middle of ups and downs that is normal, that we live together. And that happened throughout one season, that we have the chance to, in the end, really get the most desirable and wished trophy. So thank you very much for our fans. Thank you very much, Sherman, for organizing this moment also and allowing us to have this common moment together. It's a pleasure. It's the first time, and I would like exactly to take to use the moment to also thank you very much for the family, for all that is provided, not to me but to everybody in the club. I think I represent all the technical staff, all the staff in general, all the people that work in Chloorkop, all the ones that have faces but are not public. And from my part, also a big thank you, because the most anonymous people in Chloorkop is as important as myself. That's how I see the things, because we live from so small margins that the work of everybody is really important. It's also a moment to tell everybody thank you very much for being able to be submitted to a lot of work. The season was long, hard, a lot of demands on us, a lot of demands from myself, on everybody that is around. To my technical staff, they have been magnanimous, amazing the way they show commitment, and let me tell you that we were submitted to something that I would never expect to live as a coaching staff in terms of volume and demand and volume of work that we had to put on in order to give answer to everything that we had to face. But also to the medical staff, to all the kitmans, to all the people in the kitchen, to all the people that takes care of the pitches. And the pitch was so nice to see how they could work on it to have it in proper conditions in the first leg of the Champions League match. But I cannot go for security, press department, media department, all the departments of the club. I can also not move forward without remembering one moment, and Sherman, allow me to make it public. It was inside our family, the first day that we trained, the first training session that we had. You remember we went on the gym and the Sherman presented me to the players and he said, this is the coach that is going to take us to the Holy Land. It's here, Sherman.
Thank you, Coach.
It's here. It's absolutely amazing to be able to accomplish that desire. It's also amazing to have received permanently stimulus, energy, and focus on the direction that we have to have in common. But I really feel, and I had thought about this moment, about the opportunity to tell the Sherman exactly, make that flashback and go to that moment that I remember so well, and have the chance to really one day tell him, we've done it, and it's the opportunity to make it public, and thank you very much for it. And I think that in general, I just cannot go, and the Sherman also knows that I'm a person that relates a lot with my family, and they watch everything that we live together. They watch everything, all public moments, and it's a big sacrifice that we do together as family, but we have so many rewards. They were in Morocco in the middle of the fans. They wintered together. They enjoyed the game together. They celebrated together. my son cried for the last 10 minutes of the match. He was crying compulsory, and the love that they give to me is in a dimension that that I can only feel energy to go forward. And thank you very much for the football itself, to have been able to give me the opportunity to be in an environment that allows to fight for such big things, and to give me the energy to be able to pursue but stimulate the players that are the biggest engine and the true reality of a work of a coach. And that is the last word I want to leave, is exactly for them, so that they are recognized by the level they have, by the human beings in general they are, and how they overcame, as Ronan Williams had the opportunity and Masandawana to speak, how they had opportunity to overcome so quickly and to be ready for such a demand of performance after the conclusion of the PSL, the championship. So a big thank you to all of them, by the belief that they had throughout these 2 campaigns, and coming back from the first one and be able to be even stronger during the second one.
Thank you. And to you, Chairman, please just hold the mic.
The question, Shoops?
It's just the whole feeling about getting the second star on the pitch, and also just today's moment.
Well, first of all, good evening again to the members of the media. Thank you also for being out here at this hour of the night. Monday the 25th was just yesterday. It was a very special day for the club, to be the first time that we can wake up as Champions League winners for the second time after 10 years. And the feeling that I had yesterday morning was one of a lot of gratitude, because of the people that have helped us get to where we are at this point. You know, when you spend 10 years on a project trying to get back to the glory that you had once achieved, there's a lot that you pick up along the way over those 10 years. And where we are now, to reach this point, it's incredible. We feel so happy and so grateful. And a lot of credit should be given to the coach, and to Masandawana and Ron Williams and Nuno Santos and the technical department and all the players. A lot of credit should be given to them, and our supporters, of course. But I also think a lot of credit should be given to the people over those 10 years that had their hands on this project, that had a part to play, that laid a piece or brick on this journey that took us to where we are. And that is the players that have been part of this institution. As the coach said, the staff that have been part of the club, various people of the organization that all helped us learn and get better over the years. Ron Williams said it, failures, lessons that we had to take. But now we're at this point, and it's a very, very special moment for the football club, and it's really a moment to also just be proud of the country, because it shows the level of football that we have in South Africa. The type of players that we have, the type of culture that we have, and what we can do when we combine that culture and those players with talented individuals from all over the world who appreciate and understand our quality and want to help us get to the next level. And that's the special part of this project that I see when I think about this second star, because people might say, you know, it should have been, or it could have been an all-African team, or it could have been a team with a specific type of nationality. But this is a South African title that's owned, it's an African title that's owned by a South African team. But we achieved this because of the talented individuals from all over the world who saw our potential and wanted to be part of that. You know, Coach, when you talk about the moment when I said on the first day, when I said that, it's very unique and special that you remembered that. What I remembered about that day was when you spoke to the players, you remembered Kutlwano, you pointed out a few of the younger players in the group when you first spoke to them. And everybody knows Ron Williams because he's a South African legend, and also Mshishi, what he's done. But when a leader comes for the first time and he acknowledges the different members of the team, and he sees the potential in the team, that's something that is really special, really inspiring, and it's a lesson that we can all learn, and we will learn as a football club to say, we have potential, we always believe in ourselves, but it's not so much to say that the best are going to be the ones that are going to take us over the line. It's the group, it's the whole, and that's a story that I think we're going to be able to tell for many years to come. Again, I just want to say thank you very much to our supporters who are with us along the way. It was a very challenging season. We learned a lot about ourselves over the season, and that's what makes this even more sweeter, because that's truly the test of a sportsman's character, of an institution's ability. Can you withstand the shakes and the bumps when things get really tough? It's easy to be a champion when things are going well, and we were grateful for when things were going well, but when things are difficult, how do you respond? And I'm very proud to see how we responded, and I think this trophy is proof of that type of response and the type of people that we have in this group. Thank you, Shuba.
Thank you, Chairman. From the floor, sorry. Oh, good. That view. Okay.
I know the camera. Yeah.
I mean, are there any other hands in the front? So after the view, we know. Okay. David, then Chet, then Sapa. Thank you.
Okay. Chairman? Yeah, in front. Yes, very here for most ABC. Chairman, I remember when you were launching, firstly, congratulations to you, Chairman, Coach, and the team on the success and making Sanka proud. I remember when you were launching the Sundown schools, it was for the first time we've seen you in a very long time, and you addressed the issue of the coach, and you said there's never even any intention to let the coach go, because you've always believed that he is the man to deliver the second star. Feel vindicated at this moment?
I'm not sure if vindication is the feeling that I have. I feel very, very proud of the coach. I feel very proud of the group, because that belief that I had and that conviction that I had was because of the group. It was because I saw the way that the group responded to the coach in the tough times, and the way the group pulled each other together in the tough times. That gave me a lot of confidence. At the same time, the things that we spoke about during his interview before he came to the football club, the ambition and the vision that he had, and how he wanted to instill his tactics and his philosophy in our football club. It was very interesting and very exciting for me, because he spoke a lot about emotions, he spoke a lot about the individuals, and where we were before the coach came was we were a very talented squad, absolutely. I think what happened was there was just something that needed to click within the group, and credit must go to the coach and the technical team for finding that ability to help us click. But I also think it was the tough times. It was the circumstances that demanded the group to either sink or swim. And how they reacted gave me a lot of confidence when times were tough, to believe in the project and the coach, and the technical director as well, was also right there with us, supporting Flemingberg, to support the coach on this vision that we were on. So, we're all very proud of where we are now, but it wasn't just because of the decision of the chairman. There was a group belief, there was a group support, and we're just grateful that now we can stand here as a group and be proud and support the cause together.
Coach, I'm sure you would have seen that the minister responded to what you were saying after the final in Morocco. But as people in the media and who've been following your journey, we know where you come from when you do criticize the PSL, and you want things to improve. Can you maybe just give context to why you want that? And the second thing is the CAF Champions League. I've looked at the past 8 or 9 CAF Champions League finals. It's always going to North Africa, the second leg. How much or how difficult is it to try and lift this trophy outside of your home country, where your home supporters are, at minimal numbers.
Okay, Coach, if you may just maybe grab the mic when you that one.
Thank you very much. I don't really know if it's better to play the first leg home, the first leg away. What I know is that in Africa, there are completely different environments in terms of playing football. Sometimes we play in contexts where even with the stadium empty, is so difficult to play. And we had that experience this year when we played the Stade Malien away, that no one except the people that was there could understand the difficulty and the aggressivity of playing that match. The ambience we lived in Asfa, for me, was the most impressive ever I lived in Africa. The most impressive. By one side, not the most aggressive, as Rowan said. The most aggressive I saw was the derby in Tunisia between Esperance and Club Africa, because there they are aggressive. Here was marvelous, as it is marvelous to see a Loftus Versfeld full and enjoy another way of living the game, because that is exactly the beauty of the journey of a CAF Champions League, is how it's possible to live so many different environments, and how it's difficult to give an answer to, in terms of capacity to play the game with quality and make results in such environments. Very quickly passed me on my head the match in Lupopo. Incredible. And this team has exactly that experience, that resilience, that capacity to not focus on the difficulties, but try to focus on the solutions, on what they can do in an environment, arriving there and knowing what the job is and try to make it. That is why also, indeed, in the last years, the team could be almost or always in the last stages of the competition, and why arrives a moment of maturity and allows to take a cup. Regarding the first point, I think it's important you really go to listen what I said, and I don't want to make more comments, because it's not what people say that I said, it's exactly what I said. And finish. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Any other questions?
Good evening, gentlemen.
Can we have okay? Well, we can have two questions, but after that, one each person because of time. Apparently, the players are still waiting.
Yes. Good evening, gentlemen, and congratulations, Coach. The chairman speaks about the challenges that it was not an easy season, and indeed it wasn't. You can just cast your mind back, maybe to one major incident in January against Al Hilal, those types of things. And with this, Coach, do you feel that maybe finally we have won over the Sundowns fans to fully appreciate and love you?
I think we spoke during the season a lot about my relation with South Africa, my relation with the Sundowns fans, and I want to state it again very clearly. I'm a very open-minded person, and when I go in an environment, in a context, in a place, in a country, in this case, that is different from mine, and I want to remember that I work abroad since 2013 when I went in Ukraine, and most of my career as a head coach was done abroad. I always think that I don't go only to work, I go to live. And I try to embrace the culture, the habits, the people, the way of living, the food, the gastronomy, the wine, everything, the music. And that way of relating with the context is what always made me feel loved in South Africa. That's one of the things my son wrote me in one of the multiple messages he sent me in the last weeks is exactly how he sees on me a person that tries to relate with the others with respect, but absorbing everything of good that I can get. And maybe because of that, sometimes I also speak about things that I think that could be better for all of us and for all of you. And it's just a matter of understanding myself and how I want to help and nothing more. Regarding our fans, I don't remember one single time, and I said that several times in front of you, I don't remember one single time that anyone came to me and didn't give me nothing that was not love. There were moments in the matches, but we don't and we should not analyze people by behaviors inside the stadium. Even myself sometimes have difficulties on controlling myself. And my assistant coaches and the people on the bench, and the players, it's emotions. But outside, when people become normal human beings, absolutely amazing the way people relate with me. It's with respect, with the intention to speak. I always speak. I speak with the guy that is putting petrol on my car, the one that is at the table in the cafe on my side, the person that comes and asks for a photo. I stop in the traffic lights. I open the window to speak with the people that is asking. I don't even want to speak because I get emotional about some of the friends I made on traffic lights. And that's exactly the human being I am. Sometimes it's because in the context of competition, I'm a very focused and very determined person. And I will defend my club until the last drop of my energy or my sweat. And with a lot of tears it has to be. Because that's my job. I have to lead. I have to push. I'm not here to make favors to no one besides work for my club. And to lead a group towards performance is important to be a leader. And the leader needs to manage the moments to show leadership and implement leadership. And that's exactly what I do, nothing more. I just want to finish again by saying that you are a hell of a people and a fantastic country. And it has been super exciting to be among you.
We want to take the last two questions so that we bring it to a close. From Good Hadis and then Sundown.
Yeah, my question to the chairman, obvious it's going to be the silly season. Rather than coaches come and go, maybe an assurance that coach is going to stay for next season.
It's funny that, the previous question was, does the coach think that the Sundown supporters have finally been won over? I don't know. Actually, Coach, you won't know this because I came about 40 minutes before the team arrived and I spent some time with the supporters. And I think barring them asking about, when is the team arriving? Can we see them? Can we see the champions? Can we see the trophy? Almost all of them asked, where's the coach? And somebody even instructed, the coach must stay. So maybe that's an answer to the previous question in terms of how he has fared in terms of the affection of the Sundown supporters. When we brought the coach to the club, there was an objective, a goal that we wanted to achieve. We wanted to make sure that the team could reach another level and achieve something very special. And we have done that. We've achieved something very, very special. Now the question is, going forward, can we do it more? Can we do even better? Can we continue to write this very special story that we've written so far this season? I believe that where the club is heading right now is in a positive direction in terms of we have the ability to build. And we will obviously go into the next few months now and have discussions, but definitely the discussions are already in a very much more positive position than when we had discussions before the coach even joined the club. And I think that's as far as I should say for now, out of respect to the coach and of course the discussions that we're going to have as a board.
Coach, before the final, you joined Pitso Mosimane and Manuel Jose by being the only 3 coaches to play 3 finals, but the difference was you hadn't won. Just on a personal level, how fulfilling was it to finally get this trophy in front of you?
Thank you. Look, I think that the last, well, let me start in another way. First of all, thank you for the opportunity to comment your question or to answer to your question, because it goes in the direction that I think is beautiful for me to speak. Because you remember that that first press conference that we also had in Chloorkop, when there were questions regarding winning trophies and being the coach with titles, and I told you that the context where most coaches work don't allow them to win titles. Coach of Amazulu, 4th position in the season, correct? Titles. There's no title. There's no title for 4th position, but isn't it a great work? But he has no title. What I mean is, he has, but he's not recognized as such. And that's exactly the point. There are clubs where you can fight to win. Others where probably it will happen from time to time. Durban City won the Nedbank Cup, correct? Well, let's see how many years will pass so that Durban City wins again a cup. If the coach will stay there, maybe he will not have any more title. And that was exactly the journey that Coach Miguel Cardoso made until he came to Africa. I passed in clubs historical, some of them that struggle a lot. Nowadays, you saw Nantes was relegated this season. Unbelievable how it's possible for a club, but that's the history of the last 10 years from Nantes, of instability. And coaches that work in those environments are on the edge. Today you spoke about how the chairman supported the coaching staff and the group in a moment that we were not so strong, or we didn't win cups that we could have won, but we lost in penalties. In that moment we had lost 2 cups on penalties. Nothing more than that, but all that at the same time. And we were supported. But there are contexts that is not like that. On the first breach on the door comes a little bit of wind, and the coach is invited to move, because sometimes it's, even for the structure, it's more convenient to justify many things. Coming to Africa opened the door of the titles. And obviously, nowadays, the recognition on myself and on my staff is obviously different than it was before. Because we were granted conditions to fight for titles, we won titles, and that's what we want for the future, is keep ourselves also on the trace of titles. Because despite the hard work, the life of who works in a club that fights to win or wins regularly, the life in a daily basis is more easy than the life of the ones that win rarely or from time to time. And I've been on those contexts, even in the highest leagues in Europe, in Spain, in France, in Greece. In that moment was not a club to win also. And that is a very hard life. Because as much as you work, if you can win regularly, you keep energy, you feed yourself from victories, you feed yourself from smiles. And the face of who wins is not the same as the face of who doesn't win. And obviously it's a moment to make a balance on the season, and I think I did it already, but the chairman used an expression that is obviously important, is look in the future, the club needs to understand how to become better, and that's that capacity to generate energy towards development that keeps the clubs on the trace of victories. And I think that in the end, getting the trophy we have here on the table as the biggest achievement that can be done by a club in Africa, and being the first one in South Africa to have 2 stars on the shirt should make us believe that we had also to make concessions during the season. We had to make concessions. There were matches, because I remember 2 weeks ago we were fighting for goals, and I remember I went back, make an analysis in how many matches we had to take out players to spare them to play the matches we have ahead on the Champions League, for example. So those are the analyses that we're going to do inside, so that we understand how to prepare for the future. That's also the learning that was already done from the past, from the previous coaches' experiences that also came on our hand, that we also used. And obviously we will take in hand for whatever happens in the future. But obviously it's true. Today I feel myself in a very good position, because I feel in peace. Not because, and I said that to our players before the match in Morocco, in Rabat. Guys, don't think the relatives you have at home, the beloved ones you have, will look at you in a different way if we don't win. They will look at you the same way. They will love you the same way. What can change is how you look at yourselves. Because, and obviously today, when I look at myself, I feel more peace. Because I gave to myself, thanks to the opportunities that were considered, I also gave myself the opportunity to work hard in order to get an answer regarding my own capacity to produce results. And that gives me peace, of course. This one is like the top, the cherry on the top of the cake, obviously. And it's something that I really wanted to achieve, because being in a final 3 times and not having the capacity to enter that number of coaches that is so reduced, that can indeed participate in finals but also win, makes all the difference. Look, I played before, and it came even on my head. You know, Jurgen Klopp, he played 8 finals until he won the first one. And I had played an Europa League final as assistant coach. I had played a Youth League final. And I had 2 Champions League finals in hand, and I also had not won any. And I was also thinking, do I need to wait 8 times to make it? Thank God and the work we did, we could make it on the 5th, and we will have a recognition. But also I want you to understand that, and we also spoke about that between the players, a world champion of F1 has a enormously bigger number of losses on Grand Prix rather than victories. And it's exactly from the victories that he gets the losses, that he gets the energy for the victories that will guide him to the trophies. And that's exactly what I've been doing in my career, and that's exactly how I'm going to be for the future. I just want to live in peace and be able to manage the context of emotions that we live, and live the right ones, so that we can permanently live in a good environment and enjoy life. Pretty soon I'll be 54, and obviously it's beautiful to look back, see 20-something years of career, and not forgetting from where I come, but also acknowledging where I am. That is obviously beautiful to see. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
If you may. Yeah.
Sorry, Shubi. I just, the coach mentioned, thank you very much, coach. And thank you for the coach's applause. The coach mentioned something around the Amazulu coach, Coach Arthur, and his ability. And I think it's wonderful that the coach is recognizing, South African coaches and the ability that we have and the quality that's out there. And I just also wanted to make note of, and give thanks to Amazulu Football Club, their president, Mr. Sandile Zungu, because he sent us as a football club a message a few weeks ago when we were going to the Champions League, wishing us love as an organization and sending us his best. We also got those same messages from TS Galaxy, also giving us their well wishes and sending us on our journey in high spirits. And it just shows the camaraderie and also the ability for us as South Africans to get together, rally together, and push one club forward when we understand that there's a big challenge ahead of us. We had Kaizer Chiefs supporters at the stadium in Asfa. We had Orlando Pirates supporters at the stadium at Asfa as well. So I also just want to say a very special thank you to all supporters of South African football who stood behind the football club during this time. Ronwen said it, we felt the love, we really did, and that's what this trophy represents. It's a pride for South African football, and we're really grateful and we appreciate the support we got from everybody. Thank you very much.